That's all he can say, apparently. Sawadee Cup. But he hasn't said it yet, so. Sunny. Sunny. Cool. Anyway, Sawadee Cup, everybody. Sawadee Cup. Thank you. Okay. All right, we're all set. Today we're going to talk about cannabis, which I know you guys always love. Sawadee Cup. But we also have a bit of news because I found a couple of things today that are disturbing. Really, a little bit disturbing. But we are going to talk about cannabis, what's going on, the flip-flopping back and forth, you know. Hang on one second here. You hear the bird, right? All right, so first of all, today we are, this is what I wanted right here. Today we are at the Sit Under Tree. That's the name of it, Sit Under Tree. Sit Under Tree Coffee and Pizza. So I had myself a little Mediterranean breakfast, some toast with smoked salmon and a bit of cream cheese and cucumber and red onion. It's a bit noisy. But I had myself a cappuccino right here, and I got myself an espresso right here. So we're good to go. The reason I'm coming here is because a nurse that I know put this picture up. It was a couple of months ago, and I went, oh, well, that kind of looks like a cool place. This place is a little bit small, and I'll show you around in a little bit. It's quite nice, though. It's a nice little place to drop in. It's a bit far from my house. I don't know that I would come here just to come here. I mean, obviously I did this one time, but I don't know that I would come here, you know, take a trip out here just to come here. I mean, it's nice, but there's coffee shops everywhere, right? It's about proximity. But if you're in this area, which, where are we? Klong Samwan. I think that's what it is. Let me see real quick. If you're in the area, it's definitely worth coming to. Sit Under a Tree. All right, here we go. I believe the street is called Kubon. Yeah, of course they got it in Thai. Sanon Kubon Bang Chan. Okay, it's Klong Sam Wang. And they're on Facebook, Sit Under Tree. But so if you're in this area, for whatever reason, it might be worth a stop. Kind of cool little place. I came in, I saw the sign. I'm on the back of a motorcycle. I see the sign, and I went, yeah, that's it. So I come in and I look around and I go, oh, it's maybe 15, 20 yards at the most. You know, it's about, I'd say it's probably about 50 feet by maybe 50 feet. So it's you know, like I said, it's definitely worth coming to. And the coffee is very good. I don't know how I'm going to rate this place, but the coffee is very good. That bird just, ever since I started talking, the bird starts talking. Seriously. He doesn't hear me. Now, by the way, how is the sound today? How is the sound? That's what I want to know. And I'll tell you why in a minute. This place is about 15 minutes from Safari World, and it is, well, we're outside and it's very noisy out here. I mean, we're right next to the street. I've already heard an ambulance, and then there was a guy, just 2 minutes ago, he turned off the, one of those things, he's cutting the trimmer, the hedge trimmer. Thing was loud, the gas hedge trimmer. He turned it off, and I was like, oh, thank you. And we got the bird, we got the street, we got the cars going by. The hedge trimmer was going, so it's a little noisy here. That's my biggest complaint. But it's quite nice. I mean, let me just show you real quick, if I can. Let me give you a little tour. All right, this is the entrance. Okay. This is the entrance. This is the little place where you pay. You go up to it and you pay. It's our little place. And then I wanted to sit over here, but I noticed a sign that said there should be 2 people if you want to sit at this table. I don't want to take their table up in case, a family comes in or something like that. So I'm sitting at my little table here, but it's still nice. You have all this right here. They do have music on, but it's inside. I can barely hear it. So they have this. You could sit here and have your coffee. You could work if you want. Oh, they have the landscaping. Who landscaped this place? They have their information there. This is the bathroom. This is more of a place. Let me come over here. Boom. Look at this right here. And then you have a little place here. There you go. Right there. Hello, everybody. There's a little table. I'd like to sit there because it's a little shadier. They have the plants hanging there, and it covers up everything, and it's kind of shady. It's not quite as hot there, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm fine with where I am, and it's nice. I like this place. For a small coffee shop, with really, there's not a whole lot of room here. I think they've done a good job. Okay. All right, so let me just get started here. Well, the air quality, a moderate 88. The exchange rate, 33.71, under 34, which is not good, in my opinion. It's 78 degrees, high of 92, low of 73, feel like temperature's 85, 77 is the humidity, and towards the end of the week, it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be a little bit cloudy tomorrow and Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, it's supposed to rain. But, I don't know how much I trust the forecast. So that's all that. I had breakfast right here. Very good. Had capers on it, red onion, cucumber, smoked salmon, cream cheese. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. I mean, really, it was just, I was like, oh, can I have one of these? I thought it was just one piece of toast. They come out, they gave me 3 pieces of toast. I was like, oh, that's why it was 320 bucks. A little bit expensive. No, I'm not mic-less. I have a mic on. It is the Rode Dynamic mic. You just plug it in and it works. You plug it to the phone, boom, it works. I do have a, you know what? Let's see here. I do have a dead cat on there, which I don't really need. So maybe you can hear me now. Maybe you can hear me better. I don't know. Anyway, all that doesn't matter. So, I want to get into the news first. First of all, there was a girl just the other day who went in for a massage in Udon Thani. Her name is Chayda Prauhom, and she's a beloved singer. I don't know how old she is. She looks young. She's very pretty, looks young, but she went in to go get a massage, and apparently she had some issues. They were supposed to give her relief, obviously, because she had a backache after her performance, and they tried to give her some neck manipulations. You know, they're moving her neck around and all this. However, she started to have some serious symptoms. She reported numbness on one side of her body and an inability to use her left arm shortly after the sessions. She shared on social media that she first noticed... You're getting a little carried away over there. She suffered some intense pain in the back of her head, arm numbness, and progressively worsening whole body stiffness. Her symptoms escalated to the point where she could not move or even help herself, leading to her becoming bedridden. She said that on her third visit, the masseuse had an alleged heavy hand, resulting in swelling and bruises that lingered for a week. Have you ever gone into a good massage bar? There's a fine line between them having a heavy hand and giving you a great massage, because I've had both. Listen, we used to go, when I worked in the boxing gym, the boxers used to go to these ladies from the temple down the street, and they, you know, I mean, they're like short, stout, you know, 50, 60-year-old ladies, and I would get massages from them. They come into the gym sometimes. I get a massage from them. These guys were screaming. I mean, they were screaming in pain, and then like 2 days later, they felt fantastic. And I mean, they got to me where I was like, you know. It's hot out here, man. So you got to be careful when you're getting a massage, but it said her health took a turn for the worse. Oh shit. Well, let me see this here. I just got an important message from Mr. Carlos. That bird is screaming. They're bringing the bird in. Thank you. Let me see what's going on here. So you got to be careful when you're getting a massage, that's for sure. But all right, hang on here. And flying back tomorrow to see her before. Oh shit! We'll give you an updated when we get settled. Doc says a couple days, so pressed for time. Oh wow. this for a second here. That just sucks. He just got back from the U.S. not long ago. Now he's got to go back again. Okay. Well, it's too bad. All right, let me get back to it here. It said her health took a worse turn as she experienced sensations of both cold and heat, tingling in her fingers, and further spread of numbness across her torso. Her condition was ultimately diagnosed as a result of a blood infection and brain swelling, leading to her death in the early hours of Sunday morning, December 8th, while in ICU. There's a lot of online discussion on the safety of Thai traditional massage techniques, particularly those involving the neck. Yeah, you got to be careful when if they're messing around with your neck, you know, and giving you like a really hard torque of your back. You need to be careful, man, because they may know how to give massages, but they start doing that kind of stuff, and sometimes it can be quite dangerous. Now, the reason I brought this up, it's terrible what happened to her, but a Singaporean has died after a massage on a Phuket beach. Shortly after a lengthy body massage at Patong Beach, a Singaporean vacationing passed away. It was 11:03 p.m. She had an oil body massage on the beach and had relaxed after the service and then stopped breathing. The massage shop had called police and medics for help. Okay, it's a man. After the man was given CPR but did not regain consciousness. The police said his wife refused an autopsy and was taking his body back home for religious rites. This is the second death over the weekend involving massage. A Luke Tung Lam singer died on Sunday after 3 massage rounds. That's what I just talked about. 2 of them to her neck. So, be careful. If you're going to get a massage, be careful. Don't let them start wrenching your neck and stuff like that. You just tell them no. Listen, I got all kinds of injuries to my body. My hand, they start wrenching my hand. I'm like, no, stop. I broke my hand 5 times. I don't want them yanking and pulling. I don't want them doing it. So I just tell them, give me easy, please. You know, give me an easy massage. I broke my neck. I fractured 2 vertebrae in my neck back in 1982, I think. I don't want them playing with my neck, right? I got a bad foot. I got a bad knee. So I'm always careful. And that's one reason I don't want them touching me. I don't mind having a shoulder massage. I don't mind having a head massage. I don't mind, you know, a foot massage. But other than that, I don't want them going all over my body. I don't like people touching me like that. You know, my wife can touch me. And that's about it. I don't want anybody, you know, my kids can come give me a hug and stuff like that, but I just don't want all that stuff. And this is the reason why. All right, in another event from Phuket, an American tourist was killed when he slipped on wet pavement and was electrocuted by a faulty street light in Phuket. The guy was walking to a seafood restaurant in Don Jom Tao Road in Talang district, 9:30 p.m. on Thursday, when he fell and tried to steady himself on a light pole. The pole, which may have had a live wire, shocked the man into unconsciousness, and he was rushed to a nearby hospital. They administered CPR, but could not revive him. I saw that a man had fallen, but his leg was still touching the pole. I tried to touch him, but I was zapped myself, the witness told Asia Pacific Press. Managed to remove his leg from the streetlight before calling an ambulance. Now, I'll ask you one question. Thailand wants this to be a destination, a high-income destination, a destination where people come in and they spend a lot of money here. See, I look at it like this: how safe is the place? If you're going to let people touch things inside swimming pools or light posts and they're not grounded, or there's a problem with them, or you're going to give massages that kill people, that's not the kind of environment that the wealthy really want to be in. They don't want to have to worry about that stuff. The reason you pay big money is so that you get waited on hand and foot. You get treated very, very well. There's no problems. And if there does happen to be a problem, people will take care of it properly. And in Thailand, listen, it's a great place. There's a lot of great things about it. And sometimes the service is fantastic. But sometimes some of the safety things, I mean, we've all seen the cables that are just, they go everywhere. Now, some of them are not electric cables, and there's no problem with it. But you would think that they would do it in a less haphazard manner. Okay, so these things need to be addressed. Now, I told you that the currency exchange rate, the baht has gotten a little stronger. The dollar's a little weak right now. But the Thai Fed is expected to slash interest rates sometime in the next week. That's pretty big news. Analysts are expecting the U.S. Federal Reserve to cut interest rates by 25 basis points on its December 18th meeting, prompting the Bank of Thailand to follow suit in 1 to 2 months. Most likely to cut interest rates to 4.25 to 4.5%. So yeah, you know, whether or not that means the baht is stronger depends on a lot of things. But if the U.S. Fed, I don't know. It really is going to depend. It's just going to depend on a few different things. But it's another one of these wait and see deals. Let me see something here. All right, now, I don't get this. Drug party with 120 people in underwear, including doctors and celebrities, was busted in Thailand. I don't know that there's anything illegal about people, they were partying with drugs in their underwear. You got drugs on you. Now, if you're just in your underwear, that's a different story. The police chief of Tongor Station said the officers raided the party at the S31 hotel in Watana district around 1:30 a.m. There were 124 Thai and foreign men inside the room in their underwear, including some women. Some of them identified as gay. The police said partygoers had to apply via a private social media, and that a similar party had been thrown in the same hotel from Friday night to Saturday morning. There were several drugs found inside the room at the time of the raid, and all participants had been brought in for narcotics tests. 31 people, including a woman, was found to be possessing drugs. 66 others, including another woman, had consumed drugs. People do drugs, you know. Tests also revealed that 27 people at the party had no drug residue in their urine. Those who possessed drugs were detained, while those without drug residues in their urine were released. Those who had drugs will be summoned for mandatory rehabilitation. Oh my God. One of the foreigners was Vietnamese. Oh, what is this? November 27th. I didn't even see this until right now. No, Too Hot to Handle star, reality TV, right? Looks crooked right there. There we go. Avoids jail after smuggling 40 kilos of cannabis from Thailand. So you got this. She looks like a. I don't know. I think she's Russian. But she was caught going into the UK. She was handed a 20-month prison sentence, suspended for 2 years. Yeah, Manchester Airport on October 20th. Olga Bednarska, who starred in the reality show Too Hot to Handle. I've never seen that. Was found carrying 2 cases containing 40 kilos of cannabis at Manchester. You have to be stupid to try to bring in cannabis right just in your bag. Let me just bring it right in. Anyway, enough of the stupid. Now, foreigners and Thais have been arrested for selling dirty movies. 4 foreign men and 3 Thais have been arrested on charges of making sex videos in Thailand that were sold worldwide. Now, I'm just gonna get to it because the only thing I think is funny is what they say here. The videos were sold worldwide through online channels, which could negatively impact Thailand's image. I get so tired of hearing that. You're so concerned about Thailand's image. Maybe you should do something about all the other problems that are right out there in the open. But they won't. A number of videos featuring minors were also found in the possession of one suspect. The investigation is continuing and being expanded. Yes, most of them admitted to all the charges. All right, that's enough of this garbage. All right, let's get to weed. Nobody else is. What's happened? There's no people here now, or what? Everybody's gone? I don't get it. All right, listen. Before I keep going, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, hit the notification bell, please. You know what? I have this very espresso cup, except it's an orange. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please make sure that you hit that notification bell and look down in the description. There's a number of ways you can help support the channel. If you're on a TV and you can't see it, well, take the time to look, or just believe me, there's all kinds of ways. You can just you can visit my website at americaninbangkok.com. You can join the channel for $1.99 a month. You can use the Cash App. You can become a sponsor through like Super Chats and Super Thanks and all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of ways. Buy me a coffee, Patreon. You can also use Wise to make your transfers. There's a link down below. You can make your transfers through Wise. That's what I do most of the time. Sometimes I use my ATM card. Sometimes I use Wise. And I'm actually thinking about getting the Wise's card. I don't know. Does Wise has the U.S. card now? They stopped the U.S. card for a while. Oh, they talked to Issy. Wise is temporarily pausing the issuance of new Wise cards to U.S. customers. If you already have a Wise card, you can continue using it as normal. You can also sign up to be on the wait list when new cards are available. And this is about a year ago. I don't know if they're using them now. It says Wise is also deactivating personal Wise cards for customers registered in the U.S. starting in March 2024. This only affects Wise business cards with a U.S. business address. Okay. Anyway, Wise is a good deal most of the time. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about weed today. In Thailand, cannabis was decriminalized in 2022, and there is a boom still going on in the industry, and there are literally, there's something like 16,000 stores in Thailand. However, the government has said that by early 2025, new regulations will significantly limit cannabis use and sales, focusing on medical purposes and stricter recreational controls. And you know, they had said they were gonna turn back the law, and they were gonna say, well, now we're gonna make cannabis a narcotic again. That's what they said a couple of months ago. I think it was September, maybe it's early October. They reversed that and said, we will not make it a narcotic. So, but supposedly, they're still gonna make recreational use illegal. However, this is Thailand. It may be one of those gray areas where they say, oh yeah, it's illegal, but you know, if you're in your own house, nobody's gonna come breaking down the door because you're smoking a joint. Public use will be banned. It's already banned, with violators facing fines or imprisonment. Recreational use will be tightly controlled, with extracts containing over 0.2% THC requiring special permits. Okay. Public use has been illegal from the start. You're not supposed to be walking down the street smoking a J. You're not supposed to be sitting outside of a 7-Eleven or a coffee shop or whatever, smoking a vape, smoking off a vape pen, or smoking a joint, or smoking a pipe, or whatever it is. If it's weed, you're not supposed to be smoking it. The other day, I came out of the Landmark Hotel. I'm right in front of the Landmark Hotel. There's a couple guys standing off to the side, and all of a sudden I went, it was weed. Now, I'm like, not very smart to be smoking weed in front of a hotel. But it ain't me. I got nothing to do with it. So I was like, all right, whatever, you know. I'm not gonna say anything. It's weed. It's, you know, we're not talking about, you know, them standing there with a bunch of heroin, snorting it and smoking it. And so I didn't say anything, but you know, that just goes to show you. And I mean, I know, I'm in places, listen, I have people, I know people, they go out and they bring the weed with them so that they can smoke it whenever they feel the need. I don't have that kind of addiction. Thais are stoners, man. Come on. They smoke it any way they can. Cannabis cannot be sold through vending machines, online platforms, or promotional deals. Businesses will need licenses tailored to the scale of their cultivation, ranging from small to large farms. Existing dispensaries must reapply for compliance with the new rules. Now, here's one. This is just, this has been around from the beginning. Cannabis will be prohibited for individuals under 20, pregnant women, and breastfeeding mothers. Now, you would think that if a chick was pregnant or she was breastfeeding, she would be smart enough to not touch the stuff. These measures aim to prioritize public health. I wish the government didn't always feel the need to be the daddy. Listen, women who are pregnant, as soon as they learn that they're pregnant, I'm gonna say a large percent of women would just go, no, I'm not smoking that shit. It's not gonna, I know, I'm pregnant, I'm not doing it. I would hope. But okay, you gotta say it. And breastfeeding mothers too. You know, you don't want the kid getting stoned through your milk. Potential closures. Many dispensaries may close as the government moves to outlaw recreational use and implement stricter controls on THC levels. Now, how are you going to do that? Just let me ask that question. How do you plan to control the THC levels? You have all these shops. What do they get? I guess they could go around to every single shop, shut them down, say, give us your papers, show us your weed. We need to test your weed, and then see what the levels are. But that is a huge undertaking. I just don't see that it'll happen. The new laws aim to ensure that cannabis is used primarily for medicinal purposes while reducing recreational misuse and public health risk. Although these measures might curtail the industry's rapid growth, they reflect broader public safety concerns and align with international standards. For those involved in or considering ventures in Thailand's cannabis industry, adapting to these regulations will be essential. The ease of obtaining a medical marijuana license is still being debated. This is the thing. If January 1st they say, okay, recreational use, sorry, if you get caught using it, you're going to pay a 50,000 baht fine, you're going to do jail time, blah, blah, blah. And they say this. Then how are people going to get it for medicinal use? How are they going to get a medical license? Because it's December what? December 10th. It's December 10th. How are you going to get everything set up to where people can go in, get their license, and then be able to go into a store and say, here's my license, here's my card, please give me some marijuana because I'm in pain. I've got issues, whatever. The card tells, basically the card is supposed to say, this person needs marijuana, that's why they have the card. How are they going to set that up? They're not going to set it up by the beginning of the year. There's no way in hell that'll happen. None. The upcoming regulations will likely streamline licenses for those with valid medical needs, but specifics about the application process and eligibility have not yet been fully outlined. They put the cart before the horse. They don't think things through. This is normal for the Thai government. Licenses for cultivation, sale, and distribution are categories based on scale, and stricter oversight will ensure compliance with medical standards. For patients, prescriptions through licensed healthcare providers will probably be the main pathway. Now, this is another thing. Do they have the manpower to oversee all this stuff? Are they going to hire, 3,000 new hires? And where's all the money coming from? People going to go out to the farms where they know where the farms are, and they're going to go talk to the farmers and go, hey, let me see what's going on. What, you got all this paperwork? What's happening? Are they going to go into the stores and check the weed? How are they going to do all this? I just don't see it. While the government initially considered reclassifying cannabis as a narcotic, strong opposition led to a compromise. Recreational cannabis will remain heavily restricted. How do you heavily restrict recreational use? How do you do that? With high THC products requiring special permits, some ambiguity exists about whether small-scale personal use might persist under regular conditions. In other words, they gotta put on a front that they're doing this, and I think it's because of the other countries, other Southeast Asian countries, right? They want to know, hey, How come Thailand's getting away with this, but we're not? Well, Thailand goes, oh listen, it's no recreational use, it's medicinal use only. And we know there are some people out there, bad boys, they're still using it for recreational purposes. But, you know, we can't possibly go after every person. So then, boom, they're in the clear. Maybe that frees them up with the United States. I don't know. I don't know that the federal government of the United States is worried about what Thailand is doing when it comes to weed, because it does provide billions of dollars. The exact balance between medicinal and recreational allowances remains somewhat unsettled. Although policymakers are leaning towards medicinal-only usage, bullshit, they have avoided fully recriminalizing recreational cannabis, partly due to economic and political pressures. They're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and there are approximately 16,000 stores. Those people are making money. First of all, a lot of places overcharge for their weed. They charge far too much. But this is what Thais do. They think that they can charge a certain price, and if they want it, they're going to get it. Well, when it comes to weed, they will get it, because people come from their country where, you know, oh, if you get caught, you know, you're gonna face a $25,000 fine, and you're gonna be 3 years in jail or whatever. And then they come here, and they get to party. Oh yes, I get to party here. They don't care if they're paying, you know, $1,000, 1,000 baht rather, a gram. They don't care if they're paying that much. To them, they're, I just spend some money because I want to have a good time here. And that's what they do. For individuals seeking medical cannabis, the licensing process will remain accessible, but tightly regulated to ensure proper use. How do you get a medical marijuana card now? I don't know that it's very easy to get it. So if any foreigners wanted it, foreigners that were living here, older foreigners, younger foreigners, maybe they were on pain meds, and instead they want to just eat some brownies or smoke some weed. How do they do that? How do they go about getting it? I have no idea. The recreational cannabis market faces severe limitations, with many dispensaries expected to shut down unless they align with the medical framework. Clearer guidelines are anticipated by early 2025. Now, Thailand's regulatory environment is one that emphasizes flexibility. And if they're going to make it for medicinal use only, I think it's going to be quite easy. I think it's going to be just like, you know, in some places where you go in, you see a doctor, he goes, what's wrong with you? Oh, my neck, it's really bad. Comes over, feels it. Yeah, you got a neck problem. Okay, here you go. You pay $25 or whatever, boom, you get your card. You got to go back once a year or once every 3 months or something like that. And you got to pay every time you go in. That's what they're going to do, if they do that. Licensing for medicinal purposes is expected to remain accessible as the government aims to encourage regulated use. Oh, there are weed stores everywhere. I'm here. This is not exactly a heavily populated area where I am right now. I'm only about 30 minutes from my house, but I've seen weed shops, little weed shops. They're all over the place, and they're out in the villages. They're out, you name it. They're out there. Shutting down all these dispensaries seems very unlikely because of the economic impact and the pushback from the locals who have pushed to get the laws passed. How on earth, just answer this one question, how on earth do you pass marijuana laws that give people the right to smoke recreationally, and then go, oh, we didn't want it to be recreational, we only wanted medicinal use? What's the likelihood of that having happening? To me, it's damn near nil. It is nil. None. They knew what they were doing. The genie's out of the bottle. While recreational use faces heavy restrictions, there is skepticism about enforcing strict closures for all dispensaries. The government will likely aim for a balance that addresses public concerns without collapsing the industry. So, in other words, and I could just tell you this, in one sense, the government isn't going to do anything to destroy that income that comes in. They're just not. I don't think you have much to worry about. What have you heard in the last few months? Oh, it's not going to be a narcotic. Oh, recreational use, well, it's going to be regulated, but that's it. So, what's changed? I've been talking about this for, from the beginning. I've been talking about it since they started saying, we're gonna roll everything back. We're gonna close all the dispensaries. There's only gonna be medicinal use only. And I've been saying it's a bunch of bullshit. There's no way in hell they're gonna turn it back. Too many people are making money. The size of the cannabis industry and its contributions to tourism and local economies suggest that while there may be some significant regulation, a complete shutdown. I think it's so loud. Of dispensaries is improbable. Instead, many may adapt by obtaining the necessary licensing or focusing on medical cannabis and derivative products. This adaptive dynamic is quintessentially Thai, balancing regulatory control with practical implementations. Patients with medical needs will find it easy to obtain cannabis via prescriptions if they do have to have prescriptions. And it'll just be minimal paperwork. You go in, you pay your 200 baht, you pay your 500 baht. That's it. I really don't think anything's going to happen because, first of all, it's very hard to test your marijuana and to grow the marijuana with a certain percentage of THC all the time. And every time it comes in, you have to test it. Or before it goes out, it's got to be tested. That shit costs money. I mean, how much do people want to pay to smoke a joint? Listen, when I was in high school, I paid $1 for a joint of Colombian gold. $1. That was it. What's that? 33.71 baht? Imagine you get 3 joints, you pay 100 baht. 3 joints. Now, it could be 900 baht for 3 joints. Could be more. Recreational use may face more restrictions with public smoking banned. It's been banned. And people still smoke. They don't have enough cops to go around to where everyone is smoking and say, hey, that's illegal. You're under arrest. They don't have enough people to do that. They don't want to do that. Enforcement will be inconsistent, particularly in less monitored areas or tourist hotspots. Imagine if you got at any one time there's 3-4 people walking around down by Soy Bangla, and they got joints and vape pens, and they're just discreetly puffing away, passing to their buddy, puff, puff, pass. And the cops started busting everybody. Oh, now you can't walk down Soy Bangla. People would be going, fuck that, I'm not going to Soy Bangla then. There'd be a lot of people that would go, no, what am I going to do that for? I don't want to have to go back to my room and smoke a joint. Oh, let's smoke a joint in my room. Then you hang out in your room, you start smoking in your room, then you want to just stay in your room. You don't want to go out. You don't want to go out. No, I don't want to. No, thank you. สวัสดีครับ ไม่เอาครับ Meow cup, meow cup. Sorry. The lottery lady. Just trying to make a buck. Understandable. All right, now. Let me just double check this here. The most likely scenario is that cannabis will once again be more regulated, and recreational use will not be totally eradicated. Yeah, I just don't see it happening. And as I said, public smoking is already illegal. If I was smoking a joint right here and they said, hey, please don't smoke that here. And then I go, no, I want to smoke. And they call the cops and the cops come here, now I'm going to get in trouble. Or I could get in trouble, right? Now, if I smoke a joint and they don't care, what's the matter? No cops are going to come here. Why is a cop going to come here? He, you know, maybe he stumbles in for a coffee. Who knows? But I doubt it. And the sheer scale of all this, you know what? It just makes it damn near impossible for them to police everything. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go back and you're gonna start spraying the farmers' crops? I don't get it. She's trying to sell me a lottery ticket, and I don't want it. My wife won 6,000 baht the other day. She's won that. She's done that, and I'm like, when are you gonna win the big one? The one where we, you know, you don't have to work anymore. We can stop and go. We have plenty of money. We're millionaires. I'm like, you need to win that, not just where you get a couple. You know, but she did win 6,000 baht. And that's like the fourth time that she's won, you know, like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 baht. Now, I know the THC has little effect. It's everything else. It's the terpenes, yes, terpenes. That's why I never trust what they say about the THC. You know, some of these people are like, listen, watch a show called Strain Hunters. Watch the one where they went to the Congo and one of the founders ended up dying from malaria. These guys, they know their stuff. It's a science, you know, and they know the people they deal with are some of the best in the world. You know, most people coming in smoking, they're just like, hey man, give me a good joint. Okay. Oh yeah, this is good stuff, man. Yeah. It might just be marginally good. It might be okay. Most people don't know, you know. You know, I used to be into it. This is a long time ago. From the time I was about 16 to really to about, I don't know, 29 or 30. But that's why I never buy anything. My wife does, but I don't. So I tell her, have at it. Go up, you know, do what you want. She buys 2 or 3 tickets, and I hope I win. I told her, now you got your money back from some of these things that you've been buying. You know, you're buying 50 tickets, maybe one of them hits, and then you make a little money. I go, but then you're gonna buy another 100 tickets, and you're gonna lose money. So, you know, I'm not particularly into the lottery. I don't think that the chances are extremely slim that you're gonna win. All right, so let me see here. Yeah, authorities may go after some really big distributors and try to bust them just to deter others. And in the tourist or nightlife areas, if there are complaints, then they may try to bust the people so that people know, oh, I can't just smoke wherever I feel like it, like they do now. The middle ground would allow the government to regulate cannabis more strictly on paper while maintaining a pragmatic approach in practice. Thailand's cultural and economic realities often lean towards compromise, and the cannabis industry will likely reflect the balance. Let's see here. Okay. So they've dropped, back in November, they dropped the plans to relist weed as a narcotic. But they still are saying that medical use should be the only purpose. But they know that that's going to be pretty impossible to enforce. The draft legislation does not explicitly ban the recreational use of weed, nor does it uphold previous plans to reclassify the substance as a narcotic. So that's basically being put to the side. It does lay out fines and punishments for those selling or consuming cannabis for purposes not laid out in the bill. Let's see what it says here. In July 2023, hundreds of people took to Bangkok streets to protest a possible ban on general use. Hundreds is not that many. When you get 100,000 people coming out complaining about it, then the government's going to take notice. Former Prime Minister Seta Tawisin reiterated his stance, saying drugs are a problem that destroys the future of the nation. And what about alcohol? Is alcohol a problem that destroys the nation? If it's not, then why do you have hours that you're not allowed to buy alcohol? Patongtan Shinawat has brought in a slightly softer stance on the issue of marijuana. And you know, this is the thing too, is that people go to jail for this. You got people in jail, or I don't know if they still do, but they had people in jail for weed. And I mean, you know, it might have been, hey, listen, they're carrying a brick of weed to their buddies because they got everybody in the village who's going to buy weed from them, and they get caught. And then they get thrown in jail for years. On the day of legislation, more than 3,000 inmates held on cannabis charges were released. Within the year, the country's weed industry was worth 28 billion Thai baht. That's 728 million euro. And by 2030, it was projected to reach 8.7 billion euro. Now, Anatin, what the hell's his last name? I can't remember it now. Chan Wirakun. He's the one behind all this, but he had promised that cannabis would be allowed only for medical use. But in practice, the market was nearly unregulated. Now, why on earth would he just assume, oh, well, recreation, no good, no. Why would he assume that? This is what I mean. People are not stupid. I hate to tell you this, but it's just like somebody sees something right in front of their face, and then the news is trying to spin it to where, oh, it's something totally different. You don't know what you're talking about. They just gaslight. Complete bullshit. Regulations that made cannabis a controlled herb that requires a license for planting and selling, as well as banning online sales. They didn't ban online sales. I can tell you that right now. I know there's weed shops online. I mean, I know myself that there are weed shops online. Banning sales to pregnant women and people under 20 and public smoking. But cannabis can be purchased easily by practically anyone at one of the anyone can buy. If you walk into a store, you can buy. And you got money, you can buy it. Anatin has publicly opposed the proposed ban, saying while Bumjai Thai does not support recreational use of cannabis, the rollback will impact the cannabis industry. You think? Scott doesn't dabble anymore. Scott knows about it, but Scott doesn't dabble. His party was key in the pushback against proposals to recriminalizing weed as a narcotic earlier this year. The health ministry has reported a spike in cannabis-related psychological issues. Now, I think if you're someone who maybe is not a big pot smoker and you start smoking, you know, a couple of J's, or you get some really strong stuff and you start smoking, yeah, it'll screw you up. I don't know if it's going to send you, you know, I don't know if it's going to make you go crazy. When it first came out, I tried some, and I was like, man, this shit is stronger than what I'm used to, or either that, or but it didn't do anything for me. That was the thing. It doesn't make me relax. It doesn't make me sleepy. It doesn't make me hungry. Didn't do shit. It made me feel like I'm in a fog. And I didn't want that. And I don't want it. I don't like that. And I like being clear-headed. If you want to do something that doesn't fog your thought process, I would say give kratom a try. To me, that's not nearly as strong as weed. And I don't want to do that all the time. You know, it's one thing to, you know, once in a while you want to, I don't know, like, you know, with me, I was out in the forest and it's like, okay, you know, I'm out here doing things here and I want some energy, boom, I take 2-3 leaves and that's it. The health ministry reported a spike in people seeking treatment for cannabis-related psychological issues from more than 37,000 patients in 2022 to more than 63,000 in 2023. More young people are using the drug. People are fearful that the thriving weed tourism industry will be difficult to put a lid on. In the 2023 election campaign, all major parties, including Bumjai Thai, promised to limit cannabis to medical use. Well, we know that's bullshit. We know politicians are full of shit. Excuse me. It's my opinion. On July 8th of this year, cannabis activists and entrepreneurs held up cannabis plants as they marched to the government house in Bangkok. Oh, God. Okay, so the protesters are agreeing that cannabis should be properly regulated, but rescheduling a plant as a narcotic would have a negative economic impact on those who have invested in the budding industry. Everyone has spent a lot of money already. I'm a grower, so our main concern is not being able to grow or use it. Well, guess what? You know, if they got, you know, a ton of marijuana sitting in a warehouse that they're doling out and spreading out, sending it all over the country, and all of a sudden they go, oh no, it's only for medical use only. You can't use it for recreation. Where does that leave them? In June, Health Minister Somsak Tepsutin said the ministry conducted an online survey and no less than 80% of the 111,201 participants approved the ban. However, the results were not publicly shared. Before the weed was legalized in June of 2022, the country had some of the world's harshest drug laws. But possession of cannabis could land you in prison for up to 15 years with the infamous Bangkok Central Prison, ironically nicknamed the Bangkok Hilton after an Australian TV series depicted its squalor and overcrowded conditions, acting as a major deterrent for tourists. Listen, I have been in Bangkok prison. I've been in there. I went in. And they had a little area set up. It was all nice and clean and very neat and nice. People walking around. And I was like, oh, this is all right, you know. And then some guy came up to me, started talking to me, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, all right. And turns out the guy was a prisoner. Some prisoners get special privileges, and he was one of them. He got to walk around and do things, and it was for boxing. And he got to go in and into the area where the boxing was taking place, and he got to go and watch and all this other kind of stuff. And then I went walking around in the area, the prison area, the actual area where they live. And you don't want to go there. You just don't, man. I mean, it's not like you're going to get your own private room and things are going to be great. You got a little TV. No, it's not going to be like that. Now, a draft banning the recreational use of marijuana and reclassifying it as a controlled substance was circulated for public comment in January and recommended to the cabinet in March. It did not take hold. Elements of this remain in the latest proposal, including fines of up to 60,000 Thai baht for uses not permitted in the bill, and fines up to 100,000 baht and or up to 1 year in jail for selling cannabis without authorization for unspecified uses. Permitted uses include medical treatment and government research, as well as its use in herbal, food, and cosmetic products. I've never been in a Turkish prison, Robert. It's not about liking it. It doesn't. That's entertainment. It's not truth. I mean, I've been in the women's and I've been in the women's prison, and I've been in the men's prison. And all I can say is they suck. They're not good. So I do. An earlier version of the bill explicitly ruled out recreational use and banned advertising or marketing cannabis for this product, though it is implied this is not included in the latest version of the bill. Yet to be seen whether further changes will be made to the bill before it is submitted to the cabinet and finally Parliament for approval. When's this going to happen? While Thailand waits on the outcome of the changes, weed shops are still open across Bangkok and beyond. However, some rules are already in place to restrict the use of cannabis. Smoking or vaping in public places is not allowed. Well, that's how it was from the beginning. What does it matter? Don't smoke weed where you are. Go home. Go somewhere in the back of your house somewhere. Do something. Causing a public nuisance, including through the smell of weed, can lead to a 25,000 baht fine. That ain't nothing to sneeze at, man. That's about 700 bucks, 750 bucks. The details of what constitutes a nuisance are murky and liable to exploitation by police. In Bangkok, officers have been known to blackmail and extort tourists caught on the wrong side of the law. Oh, they show this picture in the Cloud9 cannabis store. It's on Sukhumvit Road. You may have seen it. And they have this sign that says medical cannabis. And all it is it's a neon sign that says medical cannabis with a leaf above it. So I guess it must be medical then. I'm buying medical grade cannabis. Extracts containing more than 0.2% THC are still legally classified as narcotics, but some shops sell stronger products regardless, which could land purchasers in trouble unless they have obtained official permission for medical purposes. I mean, okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to test every single weed? That's just bullshit. Oh, tourists have also been warned that cannabis is still illegal in neighboring countries and must not be transported across borders. Singapore, which has some of the world's strictest drug policies, can arrest citizens for using drugs outside of the country as if they were consumed at home. What I'm going to say is you damn sure better make sure that if you're smoking it here, that you don't have any remnants, I mean, just a tiny little bit when you go elsewhere. I don't care where you're going, just don't travel with it. What are you gonna travel with it for? I gotta have my weed, man. I'm jonesing. Good morning, Cyrus. What did you get to do in the prison? I was a journalist. I took photos. I wrote about it. That'll cost taxpayers a lot, I imagine, to enforce marijuana sales. Let's see here. Okay, so that's that. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the problem, is that in Thailand, it almost doesn't matter what subject you're talking about. They always have ambiguous legislation and political disputes going on. I don't know exactly why they are set up the way that they are here politically, but, you know, who am I to question their country? But I think, you know, with all the problems that they've had throughout the years, maybe they should try to figure something else out. But then the problem is you can't get one political party to agree with the other. So if you don't get a majority of people agreeing on how to do things and who's going to be in power, then it just stays the same. And this has been, it's been like this for a long time. Cannabis industry has seen a surge in innovation, with entrepreneurs exploring diverse products ranging from medicinal oils to cannabis-infused foods. The only cannabis-infused foods that I've ever tried are like brownies and cookies. I don't want to try, I mean, I've had it with pizza, but I don't want to have it, we make it with marijuana, but it doesn't get you stoned. What's the point of doing it if you're not going to get a buzz? Yeah, apparently over 16,000 dispensaries and cafes are now in place, but legal uncertainty and political disputes threaten its future stability. Who's Brennan Lee? I don't know who that is. No, this is not him. Let me see something. Oh, Brennan Lee owns Moo Dank. He produces about 100 kilos of cannabis flowers a month. Influx of imported cannabis has driven prices down to $1.50 a gram, highlighting the impact of legal ambiguity and oversupply in the Thai market. Yeah, okay. They got all this money coming in. Instead of just being so concerned about it, listen, you already got things in place. You cannot monitor everything. No, you don't need anything, Cyrus. You can just go walk right in. I understand they do, but that's not Thailand. I don't see them doing that here. I think that was such a massive undertaking here. Who knows where all of the weed comes from? It's not like they can just go to one big grower and say, well, you grow all the weed for Thailand, so let's just test all your weed. It's not like they can do that. Shrooms are decriminalized in Oakland and Denver and Washington State, or is it Oregon? It's affected for many days by eating weed. No, I better smoke it. No. Can tourists still smoke weed in Thailand? Yes, they can. Now, just in case you don't know, medicinal cannabis has been legal in Thailand since 2018. Its use remains restricted to those with a medical prescription. And you know what? I don't really know any foreigners that have a medical card now. I don't know. There could be some, but I just don't know. Yeah, the growing number of farmers and businesses involved in cannabis production eagerly await clarity from the government. Good luck on that. Hoping for a structured and sustainable framework for the industry. Okay. I still don't think that that's going to really help, but, you know. Let's see here. The shrooms from Oakland saved my life. It broke me out of 3 years deep depression after I retired from my 30-year career. Well, I can tell you that weed, you know, I wish I could say it did a lot for me and it helped me so much. It just doesn't. I don't know why. And when I was younger, I thought, oh, wow, man, this stuff is great. But now, I mean, you know, and same with booze. I just don't like it. You know, I had a glass of wine the other night, and I'm like, why am I drinking this? I mean, it was okay. But, you know, I mean, it was good wine. It was nice wine. And I said to my wife, you want one? Nah, I don't want one. Okay. Drank alone. I had one glass of wine alone. You know, red. You know, we got a couple bottles at home. My wife was given a couple bottles of champagne. We don't drink them. You know. And I just think to myself, oh, well, you know, where is the joy? It doesn't give me a lot of joy to get drunk. I mean, you know, when we were in Ecuador, that was probably the last time that we had some wine, and it really was like, oh, this is fun. But we went into two places, and like one of the bottles was like $4, one of them was $6, and they were fantastic. They were great. One was boxed. We're drinking, you know, red wine, white wine, and I mean, the wife had a bottle, I had a bottle, and if to be happy you need to be drunk, your life sucks. Well, yeah, I know. That's the thing. I don't need anything. And you know what? Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I'm just, okay, you know, whatever. And sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like, I'll tell you how I know. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but sometimes I watch TV and I can't find anything I like. Nothing. And I just go, I'm just gonna turn the TV off. I'll listen to music. Because if I can't find anything at all on TV, with Fire Sticks, with YouTube, with Netflix, and I can't find anything to watch, I'm just like, I'm not in the mood for it. You know, that's how I know for me. And, you know, my thing is I'm always looking for things to do. I have a place that I want to go to, and I was thinking about taking Alex. I don't know if it's this month or if it's next month. I have no idea, because I'm just throwing ideas out. Place is getting full now. Sawadee
Oh,
Khop.
I can see you in the computer.
Yes,
Excellent.
excellent. See, I haven't watched a football game in years. I don't watch football. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch basketball. And I can get every single damn game, and I just don't watch them. I don't know why. You know, there's a place that I want to go in Thailand, and I'm thinking about going with Alex because my wife doesn't want to go. And then she's thinking about going to the south, and maybe we go to Trang. And I'm like, okay, I'll go there. And then I'm thinking about, listen, she doesn't want to go to Africa with me. I'm like, I want to go to Africa for like 10 days, 2 weeks. I want to go. And I'm like, I got to figure it out how I can do it. I have the money. Yeah, it'll hurt a little bit, but I got the money. I could go. And I'm like, okay, so when do I want to go? You know what I mean? Like, I have all these questions. Do I want to go with Alex to this place? Do I want to go with the wife and the kids down to Trang and to Surat? And where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And then eventually I just go, wherever we go is fine. Yeah, I'm gonna drag her along on a journey where she's gonna be miserable. I don't want to do that. Quite frankly, I'm better off there without her because I don't have to worry about anybody dragging me down or being slow, or I don't want to do that, or you got to sleep in a tent and there's lions out there and she's scared shitless, and I don't want to do that. I think it's Uganda. I know she will, but listen, there's a time and a place. I don't have the money to pay for everything for her and I on a trip to like a 2-3 week trip to Africa. I can get by on my own because I don't need much. I can stay in a shitty hotel. Doesn't bother me. It does bother her. What? You got no running water? I'm like, the water runs from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Take your shower at 9 o'clock. She would just be, I don't know, man. She's like, what do I want to go see lions for? They might eat me. That's how she thinks. Well, it's not necessarily about the money. It's for her. I think to her, Thailand is the best place in the world. She would go to the U.S. She would go to Ecuador. She would go somewhere in Europe. She wants to go to developed countries, that have cities. You're not out in some village where, it's hard to get running water, or there's no electricity, or there's crocodiles down by the river, and if you go down there at the wrong time, there might be a crocodile waiting to eat you. She doesn't she doesn't want to deal with that, which I understand, Anyway, so I do understand these things. All right, I'm going to say one more thing here. If you enjoy any of the streams and videos that I put out, and I put out a lot. How many have I put out? Let me see. Quite a few. Then, by all means, click the thumbs up, please. 1,900 and something videos. I don't know exactly because it doesn't tell me, but it says 1.9K videos. It's almost 12 years I've been doing this. She's not going to Komodo Island. She will not go there. You see, I know my wife. I've thought about going there, and honestly, I think that's a kind of vain. I'd like to go just to see them, But I see water monitor lizards, and I know they're not the same, but they're similar, and I get sick of them. They're not like an animal that enthralls me. And if I took her there, she'd be scared shitless. And, you know, then I think to myself, what am I going to do? I'm going to stream from there? Let me stream this Komodo dragon eating me. Well, you don't have to donate. I mean, you don't. That's the truth. Nobody does. And you know, if you're watching 200 videos a month, then maybe like the top 3 that you enjoy, the top 3 channels that you enjoy, if you gave them $1 a month, that would be $3 a month. So I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can look at it. But the bottom line is nobody has to give anything. I'm just saying, smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification key. Go down below. See how you can follow, help support the channel, whatever. That's fine with me. Wow. Very cool. What else? What else do we have to talk about? And you're talking about the elephants in Thailand. There's wild elephants down in Prachuap, and I've thought about going out there. But it's even there, it's difficult to see them. And another article that I just see here is that human-elephant conflicts are on the rise in Thailand. And man, you do not want to get trampled by an elephant. I can tell you that right now. There is no way. No way. Naked Russian found in the sea off Pattaya. Oh, I guess it was Ambitious Swim. And this is a crazy place, man. You know, sometimes I think that. I just go, this place is crazy. It's crazy. Thailand can just be so damn crazy, it's unbelievable. Let me see here. Thank you, Robert. And my advice is not to go in person. What? My advice is what? Is to not go in person and just enjoy the videos about Africa. Thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate that. And it's through the CASHAPP, which is great. Because you know why? I don't pay anything for that. Pretty good. I like it when I don't pay all these fees, you know, like freaking YouTube taking 30% or 45%, and, you know, it's crazy. But I'm thankful for, you know, the opportunities, because back in the day, I would never have been able to do what I'm doing now. Thank you very much, Gabe. Thank you. Thank you to Gabe. Choke D to you. Let's give him a like there. Just got a like. And thank you to Robert. Thank you very much. Choke D to both of you. Well, smart man, Robert. You're a smart man. Yeah, I know about Kuiburi. And I like Port. That is a place that I really like. But the city where I've been staying, I've been there like 5 times. And the city where I've stayed, it's changing. And not necessarily, it's not terrible there. It's nice, but it's a little busier than I like. But Prachuap is a province. It's not just a city. So there are a lot of places where you can go, and like I said about watching the wild elephants, yeah, it's possible. Definitely. I'm just looking at this thing here about the best places for Americans to live, and it doesn't have Thailand on the list. It has, let's see here, Mexico, Spain, Netherlands, which ranks 6th on the World Happiness Report. Germany, Costa Rica, what else? Panama, in 2023, Panama announced the cost of establishing residence would increase from $300,000 to $500,000. However, following a drop in applications, the country reversed the decision in October 2024. Well, that's a good move. The $300,000 investment must be held for at least 5 years. Investors can qualify via real estate purchases, bank deposits, or investing in funds. I don't know, Panama. I've been to Panama. And my initial reaction is I wouldn't live there. Italy is the next one on the list. Yeah. Oh, God. And France. Ooh. Income and social taxes in France are high, up to 45% for high-income individuals. And they also may need to pay a surcharge of 3% on part of their income. Singapore. Listen, I'm just going to say this about Singapore. I wouldn't live there if you fucking paid me. I've been there. I've been there for months. I've been there many times. One time I stayed there a month. And first of all, it's very expensive. It's a pain in the ass to get a car if you want to get a car. You can get around, but okay, whatever. I just don't like it, and it's not that big. So, after a couple of days, it's kind of like, all right, so what am I going to... Oh, let's go shopping. I don't want to go shopping. What the hell do I need? I like their airport, though. And then, I think this is last. Portugal. I do like Portugal. Good. More people need to stay away from Thailand. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Agree that Africa changes you, not always for the better. I lived in Cameroon for a year. Wow. A farmer did get stomped by an elephant in Kuiburi last year. An elephant and the farmer disagreed who owned a mango tree. Yeah. Well, I got my table here. I'm good to go. I'm all right. You know, I sometimes I think that when it comes down to is where do you feel comfortable? I mean, I was asking my kid the other day, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I like it here." I'm like, "You like being in the city?" He's like, "I have everything I want." I'm like, "You don't have the ocean." You know, if I was to live it by a mountain, I could be happy, but I'd still be thinking there ain't no ocean here. And then if I have an ocean, it's like, okay, how often am I going to go swimming? In Ecuador, my buddies, I should ask him. My buddy has an ocean about 2 minutes away. He has a swimming pool. He goes swimming in the swimming pool every morning. I don't know that he goes to the beach every night, but he tries to go, you know, a couple times a week. And it's really nice. You go out there, you go swimming for, 15 minutes, a half an hour. You come out, you're wet, you feel good. Going to the ocean every day, it's a good thing, man. It feels good. You know, and I think about that. I think for me, when I'm thinking a few years away. And, at this point, I already feel like I don't want to travel as much. And when I do travel, I want to have a little more comfort, which means I need to have more money. And it's quite expensive just to go from Thailand to Ecuador. So I don't know if that's the answer. But there are places in Europe you can go to that are not that expensive. But, where do you want to go? That's the whole thing. What do you want? You want privacy? You want there to be a hospital fairly close by. So if you have a heart attack, you can be at the hospital in 5 minutes. Do you want that? Do you want to be surrounded by people? For me, what I like and what I think about, if you ever watch I think it's the first Transformer movie. He's got that big house up on the top of the cliff. And you look down and you just see the ocean and all these houses. In any of those houses, I think of those houses and I think, in a little village where, you walk and then you go and, in the morning you buy some baguettes and some cheese or whatever. In the afternoon you go and have a little lunch, some coffee. At night you have some fish. And you're right there on the ocean. You see the ocean. The ocean is the view. To me, that's fantastic. And I think about that here in Thailand, and I go, I don't know, maybe it's just that, to be honest, I'm a little bit bored with Thailand, because I've been here for a while, and I've been to a lot of places and seen things, and I just think, okay, well, I know there's places out there to go that I'll really like and I'll be interested in, and I know that changes. But I'm always thinking about, okay, so where else to go? And that's something I've been doing since I was 17 years old. I've always thought, what am I going to go do? Where can I go? I used to want to go to Costa Rica. I don't want to go to Costa Rica. I'd rather go to Portugal and go out somewhere near the coast. But, Portugal, I don't know, There's all kinds of things to think about. Anyway. I hate to tell you, but the cannabis in Thailand, cannabis alone is not enough to keep me here. Women alone is not enough to keep me here. My family is enough to keep me here. But there would be a point, probably in about 5 or maybe when I'm 70, I don't know. When I'm 70, my wife will be 56. So maybe when she's 55 or so, maybe I'll pick another place. And we'll live here 6 months and we'll live somewhere else 6 months. I don't really know, And that's the whole thing, your decisions that you make. And, you know, part of me thinks, you know, when I first came here, I moved around a lot. I didn't go with the wife because it was, you know, all about, you know, hey, listen, I got to make some money. If I bring her, it's like, maybe I won't make any money, or maybe I'll make a lot less. But now I want to go, you know. I want to do these things. And she is not so adventurous. She's pretty adventurous, but she's not so adventurous where she'll go, I want to go on a walkabout where, like, there's lions and buffalo and crocs and hippos, and you're walking through that area and all you got is a guy with a gun standing next to you. You know, I don't think she wants to do that. And quite frankly, it sounds good, but I think I'm more into the relaxation part. I'm into relaxing. Sitting somewhere in a bungalow. If you ever saw the videos I made in Koh Chang, in the south of Thailand, I had a little bungalow. It was 500 baht a night. I took a bus down to, I think it was Trang or Ranong. Yeah, I think it was Ranong. I took a bus down there because I missed the train. And then I took a boat to the island. And I was on this island for 5 days. Very peaceful. No cars on the island. Only motorcycles. And very few of them. People just walked. But, you know, after 5 days, I was like, this place give me island fever. You know. Yeah, I mean, you know, So I think that's what it is. I've done a lot of traveling. I've done a fair amount of traveling, I'll say that. I can't say I've done a lot. I'm not like some of these guys who I've been to, you know, every country on earth. There's some countries I don't want to go to. I like Phnom. I liked it. Looking back, I think maybe I would be bored there. I might be a little bit bored. Maybe Sichuan would be better. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know, you know, honestly. And for me, honestly, I think getting out of Thailand is probably the direction that I'm headed. Well, I was there a couple months ago, and it was very nice. But getting out of Thailand and going exploring new places. I said Albania was a place. I like Sardinia, I like Malta. The only reason I don't really like the islands in Greece are because of the cost. There are some beautiful places in Europe. And actually, I like Europe better than I like South America. But I do like Ecuador. You know, so there's all these places and all these things to weigh out, and all of it comes down to what is the wife going to be doing? What are the kids doing? What about me? Do we have this? Is everything, are the stars aligned? My kids have a job. Okay, they're going to be working. I'm not worried about them. No, I haven't been to Bora Bora. It's all about the kids have a job, and the wife is set. She's, you know, retired or whatever. And we have money. So obviously money is important. And then we go wherever we want, you know. But this ain't bad. You know, I mean, that's the thing. You always think the grass is greener on the other side, you know. This is all right. I like, you know, being here in a cafe, relaxing. Although my ass hurts. Yeah, you know, this is okay. I like it. And, you know, I was going to go to the mall. My wife said to me, why don't you go somewhere different? maybe the people watching are bored with seeing you at that same old coffee shop every day. And I went, all right, I will. No, the grass is not greener. It's just a different shade of green. I mean, that's the truth. It may be a little greener. It may be less green. You know, and the thing is you never know unless you go. I saw some movie yesterday. I was watching, it was on Fire Stick, and I saw this Bomba the Jungle Boy. This was right after the Tarzan movies with Johnny Weissmuller. This kid was like a Tarzan kind of thing, you know. The people there, they were hunters and filmmakers. They didn't want him to look in this one box that they had. And they were like, he was like, why don't you want me to look in the box? And they go, oh, it's nothing, it's our dark room. They thought the kid was stupid, but he was smart. Finally, one day he looks in and he sees something and he goes, what the hell? It was a tiger. Now, being that he had never been outside of Africa, he had never seen a tiger before. And I thought this was kind of typical. The kid had never been anywhere else. He said, what do you have a tiger here for? Where did the tiger come from? India. Oh, you brought the tiger from India here? Why? And the reason was they wanted... Oh. That was hard, man. The reason was that they wanted the tiger to fight with the lion. They wanted to catch a lion and let them fight. And he was like, why do you want that? He couldn't understand it. But he had never seen a tiger before because he hadn't been outside of Africa. He didn't know what it was. Finally, they did fight. And, you know, I don't know what the hell they did, if they really made them fight. But, I mean, it was from, like, 1951. It's almost 75 years ago. But it looked to me like the lion and the tiger were actually fighting. I mean, they were going at it. So maybe they let them fight, I don't know. But, you know, just like that, it's like if you don't ever go to... If you don't go somewhere, how are you going to know about it? You know? That's the only thing that keeps me going is I go, well, you know, maybe I want to go here. It seems pretty cool there. That's why we went to Portugal. I was like, I haven't been to Portugal. I want to see what it's like. And I haven't seen it, man. You know, that's the thing. You know, I've done a lot of things. You know, and I think that now I got almost 2,000 videos and streams. I think some people forget that there's a lot of stuff. All you got to do is search, and that stuff will come up, and you can watch it. But most people just watch, you know, the last couple of videos or whatever. They don't watch from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There's all kinds of stuff I did in the past. I think it's about time to get out of here. My God, this place is full now. Place gets busy, huh? Didn't even wear my glasses. What time is it now? 10:50. So, yeah, and it's about a 25-minute drive from my house from here. and I'm just gonna call a Grab. You know, I usually don't carry much cash now. I got a credit card, I got a debit card, and I got the scan. And the Grab and Bolt, they're already hooked up to credit cards. It doesn't bother me to use them. Turn the fan on me. Why do you not own a scooter again? I'll tell you why. Because where I go in Bangkok most of the time, I don't need one. You know, let me turn this here. I don't need one. If I lived in the South, I would have one. You know, if I lived somewhere else, like out in a village somewhere, I'd probably have one. But I don't need one here. I mean, listen, I just walk right out the door. I call a Grab or call a Bolt or in-driver, maybe. And they come pick me up, boom, drop me off wherever I want. Piece of cake, man. You know. So it doesn't make sense for me to have, I mean, if I'm going to buy a motorcycle, I'm just going to pay cash for it. But then I got to pay for the insurance, maintenance, all that other shit. So then, boom, my expenses go up. And what I want is no expenses. I'm 2 minutes away from the BTS. 2-3 minutes away. That's it. They drop me off there, I go upstairs, go in the elevator, go upstairs, boom, I'm on the BTS. If I want, I can take the BTS to the City Link, I can take the BTS to the MRT, I can go anywhere in Bangkok. Or I can just take a taxi and go all the way. If it's me and my wife, usually we take a taxi. If it's me and the kids, we take a taxi. You know. So, I mean, really, what do I need one for? I don't need one. And believe me, I think about it like, oh, I would have a lot more freedom. Oh, you know. It's not all that much. It's anywhere from about 25 baht to about 60 baht. If you go a long way, it'll be like 60 baht. But you can't even, I don't think you can even pay that much on the BTS now. Not on the yellow line. Depends on where you're going. You know, you might pay 30 baht, and then you get onto the MRT, and it might be, I pay half price, so it might be 23 baht, and then, you know, so maybe it cost me 150 baht to go somewhere. If I took a taxi, it might cost me 200. I don't know. You know, it's just about convenience. But I haven't taken the SkyTrain in probably 2 months. I don't know why. I just haven't. Probably because I haven't been going that many places. You know. But I could. But there is no SkyTrain here. There's none. So how are you going to get around? Well, maybe you can take a song towel if you're lucky. I don't want to do that. And you know, listen, the motorcycle cost me 112 baht to come here. That's like less than $3. It'll cost me about $3 to go back. So $6 to come here. You know. So I mean, you know, I spend a little bit of money and I get to go somewhere. All right, it's okay. Have a little breakfast. It's nice. I'm gonna go back, go to the mall, get some groceries. You know. But if you do want to go on the BTS, like I'll put maybe 1,000 baht, which is like what, $30, on my line account, and then I don't even have to worry. I got 1,000 baht on there, and the only thing I do is pay my my water bill from my line, and then I go to I go onto the SkyTrain, boom, it takes the money right off of my line account. I don't know, maybe, depends, but 40, 50 bucks. It's not that much. You know, the other thing though is I don't want to drive on Lot Prow Road and Ramkhamhaeng Road and Sukhumvit. I don't want to drive on those streets. For what? What do I have to drive there for? I got a chauffeur. Really think about it. I got a chauffeur anywhere I want to go. I got a chauffeur. You know, and there are times when I need to go somewhere and I just need to pop in and grab something. You know, get a cable or something like that. And I just tell the driver, just wait right here. Okay, they wait for me. I go in, 5 minutes later I come out. Then I go back home, I pay him, everything's fine. So I gotta, you know, you could say I got a chauffeur. That's the way I look at it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I appreciate it. Again, we are at, what is the name of this joint? Sit Under Tree. You sit under tree? And I'm gonna put the Facebook address. I'm gonna put it in the video, under the video, so that you have it and you know where it is. If you're in Bangkok and you're out in these parts, or you just want to check it out, I will put the information down below, and you can check it out for yourself. Nice little place, and they do have, you know, sandwiches, and they have all kinds of things. So you don't, you know, it's not like you have to come here and have a croissant and that's all you can have. Anyway, all right, well, thank you very much. Like I said, appreciate everybody joining me. It is a very nice place. And I will put the, oh, here we go. I will put the link in the description down below. I'm about 45 minutes away from central Bangkok. Well, yeah, about 30 minutes to 45 minutes away. Let me see here. There we go. That should do it. Well, let's see if it pops up. There we go. Yes, it does. I don't know. All right, well, anyway. I believe the link is now down below in the description, but I will, oh yes, it is there. Okay, good. It's very nice. It's very nice. I showed everybody, at the beginning of the stream. I showed people what it looked like. I'm not going to do it now. There's too many people in here, but I did it before. So if you just go back to the beginning of the stream, you will see it. Good place to come. The coffee's very good. Good stuff here. So anyway, that's all I got. I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. And until next time, whenever that shall be, maybe Friday, I will talk to you all later. Take it easy. Boom.